nervous because I'm here now.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of 410 Sports Talk. I'm Glenn Martin here with my co-host James Haskell. And in this episode, we're going to discuss the recent release or plans to release. I'm not sure if it was official yet, but Mark Ingram, running back for the Baltimore Ravens, is about to be released by the Ravens. And it's kind of, it's not unexpected, Jimmy, but kind of sad nonetheless. He wasn't here long, but it felt like he was, right?
Yeah, definitely a guy that left his mark on the organization. I think on our young quarterback going forward in his career. I think he'll be one of those guys that Lamar can look back to as he becomes a vet to say, you know what, this is how I want to lead, or these are some things that Mark did to help me, continue to lead, to help show Lamar how to lead. But one of the things I can say too is that this is just the beginning for the Ravens, of course, as far as the offseason goes. And I also think it's important that they did this now. This is super early.
Yep.
But I think it gives Mark every opportunity and all the doors are open to him because I just think it shows that the Ravens are a classic organization.
Yep.
They didn't wait. They didn't dangle it. They didn't wait to see because look, what if Gus gets a deal in the open market,
right,
and gets the bag, and then we're out Gus and we're out Mark,
right?
But I think they wanted Mark to have every opportunity for him to play next year if he wants to, wherever he wants to go and have an impact. And last thing I'll say is it clears up $5 million in cap space.
Okay. Yeah. I agree with you though. I think when I first said the news, I said it to my wife and she said, well, they're not wasting any time. And I said, yeah, but that's, it's a good thing that they don't waste time. They don't, some teams will hang on to their vets after all the bunch of other roster spots
right.
are full and all the other teams. And then by the time they're released, all the jobs are already taken. So I think you're right. It is credit to them for releasing him as quickly as possible and giving him the most opportunity to find a job. But as far as his time here, last year, obviously he was a part of a very special season. The big trust was a lot accredited to him, I think, starting that or certainly popularizing it. And when he announced Lamar in the press conference was, that was an awesome moment. And, all-time mic'd up player maybe in Ravens history. One of the funniest players I can remember. He was hilarious. The dancing he'd do on the sidelines with, JK and all the other guys.
Mm-hmm.
Man, just a memorable guy. So even though he wasn't here long, I'm going to miss Mark. I think a lot of fans really liked having him around. He was a true Raven at heart. It's a shame that he only spent 2 seasons here. And, he spent most of his career in New Orleans.
Yeah, absolutely. That first year he was here, just to give you guys an idea, in his career, he's had 3,000-yard rushing seasons. And in 2016, 2017, and then of course 2019, he got really close. 2014 had 964 yards, but at 30 years old, he had his second most touchdowns in his career at 10 in a season, third most rushing yards at 1,018, and on top of that, he caught 26 receptions, 250 yards, was averaging 8.5 per reception,
Yep.
and so look, Mark is a talented player, great leader, like you said, and definitely did a lot for the team moving it forward. But there are some other names that were released as well. I know that Mark is the headline, but there are a couple other players that I kind of want to get into as well here. But Mark, the consummate, professional, absolutely did everything right. And we hope for nothing but the best for him. And at the end of the day, just because the guy's gone, Glenn,
doesn't mean he's gone forever, right?
Right. We know that could work. And like I said, if he's still out there, and we lose a guy like Gus because he goes to get the bag, if he gets a bag from Jacksonville or all these teams with this, or the Jets or something.
Right. Yep.
Then we could
would not be surprised to see him back. Absolutely. Just not at the $5 million, price tag that he was going to be coming back. Absolutely.
Right. Or maybe it could be that amount in incentives, but different, much more different in its construction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But as far as the other guys that the Ravens have waived, RG3 is one, DeAnthony Thomas is one, Devontae Harris is another, and then Tramon Williams is another. Devontae Harris, of course, and Tramon Williams were corners that we picked up throughout the season. You guys all know RG3, and then DeAnthony Thomas didn't play this year due to COVID. He opted out this year anyway, but he was our kick returner, and they had no ideas of bringing him back since they've filled those positions.
Yeah, but RG3, man, I think that kind of will catch the eye of some fans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that surprised. I think that at this point, he's done his job as far as being that mentor, being that vet for Lamar. But at this point, and going into next season, I don't see a reason for him being here. I mean, just because with his tenure in the league, he's going to be more expensive than having a guy like Tyler Huntley, who I think clearly cemented his role as the number 2 guy behind Lamar. I mean, he played with a lot of poise coming in for him in that Bills game. And with the similar skill set, it just makes sense. And obviously the cheaper price tag, it makes sense to just go with him, and maybe as well as having McSorley. But yeah, RG3's time, I think, is over in Baltimore. But man, he was a great vet, great presence, positive guy, a guy that, Lamar could learn a lot behind, a guy that's had a lot of success, but also had some, some stumbles in his career that could just impart some wisdom, on Lamar. So I'll miss RG3. He got a nice win over the Steelers, so he's a Raven for life in my book, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this year though it was tough to watch at moments. Of course, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
At the end of this, the numbers weren't great.
Do you
But
think
like you
he gets
said,
a job?
nah,
You think he's
I don't.
done?
Yeah, I mean,
I could see him maybe taking on this role elsewhere if a team drafts a young guy. Maybe
like
bring
the
him in.
Jets. We just talked
Yeah,
about the Jets saying ago, but
exactly. Maybe bring in just because he's he's the pro. He teaches you how to work. I'm sure he's great in the meeting rooms and all that stuff. So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to see him. But I agree with you. He did not look great on the field this year. There's no doubt about that. But look, I mean, look how many backup quarterbacks stuck around for forever. Matt Schaub just retired this season, Jimbo.
that's incredible.
So yeah, don't be shocked.
Yeah, I'm with you there, and hope for nothing but the best for him as well. But I also think that he has, he I think he's got a lot going on outside the field and made a ton of money. I mean, he might want to keep playing, but I know he's got some small kids and things, so
Mm-hmm.
might want to stay home at his compound in Texas, and
Possibly. Yep.
yeah, and become a coach or something like that. But those are the releases. Obviously, Mark is the headline, like you said, a tough one to see go based on the name. Hope for nothing but the best for him. He reminded me a lot of, Anquan Bolden. His rise in Baltimore was so fast.
Yeah, it was.
That you felt like you said, he'd been here for a decade.
Yeah,
right?
Anquan only here 3 years. Felt like he was here for double that at least.
Mm-hmm. And from the day Mark got here, it felt like he was meant to be in purple and black, right?
Yep, no doubt, no doubt. Awesome guy, awesome leader. We'll miss you, Mark. Big trust.
That's right. So woo. That's right. That's about as good as I can get when it comes to Mark Ingram impersonation. But let us know what you guys think about the release. We have a couple questions we want to pose. Do you think there's any possibility we see him back? And then are there some names that you see on the roster that haven't been released yet, but you see as being potential releases?
Mm-hmm.
Let us know what you think. Give us all your thoughts. We love to interact with you guys in the comments, and make sure to hit the subscribe button, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
See you.